Okay, we are back. Today it's all about hashtag Ask Mbithe. Ask us anything that you would like me to answer specifically on investments. Do you want to know about interest rates? When is the right time to invest? What should you invest in? How should you manage your savings? Absolutely anything when it comes to investments. 20146, that's our SMS line. As I said, I'm actually holding my phone and I am so ready, excited and eager to be able to have conversations. If you don't have a question, ni sawa tu, wewe chukua nangas unisalimie, uniambie hi Mbithe, how are you? Where are you watching from? I can be able to give you a shout back. But all in all, hii show ni yenyu, so let's be able to engage. Let's start off with our first question, which is just coming up on our screen as we speak. So let's see, we have one question from one of our viewers and it says, hello Mbithe. What percentage of a company's shares does an investor need in order to have a say in the investment direction the company takes? Thank you so much for this particular question. So in a way, you are actually trying to get influence in terms of the ownership in the company. There are different kinds of influence, but it starts from as low as 25% holding. Then you can be able to sort of try and steer and try and actually get a board seat. How do you begin to actually have a voice in a company? You need to have a board seat because as a shareholder, you only get to engage with the company at the annual general meeting, which is held once a year, and you take a vote in terms of the basic decisions that are made, which normally are regarding the dividends that the company will pay or the directorship of the company. Now, if you represent a company that has a majority share, 25% is normally a good proxy to look out for. But if you have 10-15%, you can be able to start lobbying for a seat on the board. Then you're able to get the kind of influence that helps you get a seat on the board. When you sit on the board, the regular meetings at a board level are more intense. You have an opportunity to speak or to influence the direction and the vision that this company takes. So I hope that answers your question in terms of the kind of influence that you want to be looking out for. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the kind of way we want to be able to engage. So 20146, I'm here, I'm ready. What other questions do you want us to answer? So as I wait for you guys to send your questions, let's take it to the street and hear what do people have to say this week when it comes to investments.
TV. Nafikiria kuinvest lakini mapato yangu ni madogo. Naweza kufanya vipi ili niweze kuinvest? Habari Metro TV. Nafikiria kuinvest lakini mapato yangu ni madogo. Naweza kufanya vipi ili niweze kuinvest?
All right, thank you so much sir for your question. Mapato yake ni kidogo sana, kwa hivyo anajiuliza anaweza kafanya nini ndio aweze kuinvest. I think tunazanga kwa kusema story na investment si namna na mapato yako ati lazima ukue wealthy ndio uanze kuinvest. Kitu muhimu ya kufikiria na hela zako ni namba moja, ukipata hela zako, eka pesa kando 10%, at least ikue yako ya kuweza kujiweka ile siku itakuwa hauna kazi ama hauna fedha. In other words, put 10% savings for a rainy day because you don't know what will happen. Then after that, I'd say take another 10% and decide, nataka kuinvest. Ukiwa na mapato kidogo inamaanisha utaki kuweka pesa zako pahali na ziende zikapotea. So unataka kuweka pesa zako kwanza kwa savings account, uanzie hapo, uzisongeshe kwa money market account. Money market Nairobi ukiwa na 5,000 ama ukiwa hizo ni zile kubwa, but hata sai kuna products zenye ukiwa na 50 bob unaweza ukaanza kuweka pesa aside. Saccos unaanza kuweka hata 100 unaweka aside. Sacco ukiweka fixed deposit account, hiyo ni investment. Wanakupatia 10%, they give or take. Unafungua account kwa Sacco, unafanya registration, unaanza kuweka pesa yako hapo. Merry go round, watu wanapenda kufanya merry go round. Unaanza hata 100, 200 unaweka, wakikupatia lump sum yako unapeleka kwa pahali kama money market fund, unapata 10% kwa kila mwaka. Hiyo 10% ukiangalia unaweza ukasema ni kidogo sana, but hiyo ni kukuonyesha yani unataka muda mrefu ndio uweze kuwa na pesa na mapato unayotaka kupata unataka ikusaidie huku ukiwa mzee, usipoweza kujibeba, usipoweza kuwa na ile nguvu ulikuwa nayo ukiwa kijana. So usijiulize niko na pesa kidogo nitafanya nini? Jiulize namba moja, nimejifunza kuweka pesa kando wakati wowote inapokuja, kwa sababu kama hujajifunza hata ukipatiwa milioni leo hautakuwa umejua unaweza kuweka pesa kando. So weka pesa kando 10% kwa savings, ukiweza tena eka 10% ingine uweke kwa investment. Anza kwa kuweka pesa kwa bank, enda kwa Sacco uweke kwa Sacco. enda kwa money market fund. Alafu kitu ya pili na ni muhimu sana ujue ni wewe kuinvest, huwezi ukainvest kama hauna hela. Kwa sababu Mungu amekupatia nguvu na unaweza ukaona na uko sawa, jitahidi ukatafute kazi ya kufanya. Usiketi kwa nyumba, ukiketi kwa nyumba hakuna hela itakupata kwa nyumba. Kwa sababu haiwezi kaanguka na yanguki kama mti. Toka nje ya nyumba ujiulize, leo naweza fanya nini? Leo naweza uza nini? Leo naweza nikasaidia nani kufanya kazi yoyote ndio niweze kulipwa. Kwa sababu bila malipo hakuna venye unaweza kuanza kupata mapato. Ukianza kufanya hivyo, kitu ya pili unataka ufanye ni invest in yourself. Ni nini unataka uende usome, na si lazima uingie kwa darasa usome. Siku hizi kuna mtandao na unaweza kujua vitu nyingi. Swali ni nini naweza kujijulisha mimi mwenyewe ndio kama leo nilikuwa napata mapato ya 100, kesho niweze kupata mapato ya 200. So ongea na wale watu wako karibu na wewe, uko unajitoa, unajitahidi, unafanya kazi vizuri, unapata mapato. Ukipata mapato sasa anza kuweka pesa kidogo kando ndio uweze kujiendeleza. Let's see the next question up there for us today.
TV, my name is Naboth. My question is, what is the best insurance currently in Kenya for health and also for life?
Thank you so much for that particular question, and it's a very pertinent question. Why do we take insurance? Because when you are planning your financial journey, you want to be able to manage risks. What happens is if you don't have medical insurance, for example, as a bare minimum, the day that you get sick, your savings can easily be wiped out. That's what we do with insurance. But then another thing that people confuse insurance with is they confuse insurance with investments. Don't use an insurance product as an investment. Why? It's supposed to manage a risk. It's supposed to help you when you fall. Don't use it as a planning tool. You should use it and say, I need medical and I need life because I don't know when I will get sick. But I do hear some people saying that they take it as an education policy, and that's okay. But I bring in another challenge and I say this. If you know your child will go to school in 4 years, what's stopping you from opening a money market account and beginning to put money there each and every single day? People say, I don't have the discipline. But you have the discipline to pay for a product. So let's try and differentiate that. But now the second question is, now what kind of insurance products do you want to take? So first and foremost, if you can, NHIF in terms of medical, each and every person needs to have NHIF. Go online, find out their page. Your minimum contribution should be 6,000 for a year. You can either pay a lump sum of 6,000 or you can decide to pay on a daily basis or on a monthly basis. You need to have NHIF. You have your ID card, go get NHIF and stop waiting for somebody to get it for you. You know why? Because when you get sick, you can present that card in hospital and it can cover part of your bills. That's the first thing that you want to do. Then the second thing you want to do is, if you can afford it, ask yourself, what insurance companies are out there and how can I get covered? There are numerous insurance companies that can be able to cover you. It all depends on what kind of product that you want to have. So first and foremost, if you are in a family, try and get a family package that covers you, that covers your spouse, and also covers your children, and try and see if you can get one that you're able to afford, because you'll have to pay for it on a monthly basis. Then they give you an annual cover. Over and above that, what COVID-19 has also shown us is that it's not only enough to have a medical insurance card. Currently, medical insurance is not covering for COVID-19. We don't have control of who gets it. Yes, sanitize, yes, put on your mask, keep your social distance. But God forbid, what this has taught us is, if you can, put money aside, because in case anybody gets sick and you run out of your medical insurance, before you go to the normal way of asking people to contribute for you, at least try and say that I have some money to actually get me to hospital to be able to help me. So that's the way I would look at it. Second way I'd look at it is the element of life insurance. Life insurance is a product that you get that says, in case of my demise, if I die and I am the primary caregiver for my family, then there will be some money that will be given to them as they figure out what is happening. Who is life insurance for? If you are a mother, if you are a father, if you have dependents as a single person, it's something that you want to consider. And this is the rationale. if you are a father, the gentleman who's asked us, if you are a father and you have a wife and you're the primary caregiver, you're the person who pays for the majority of the bills, then you want to take life insurance because God forbid if you die, at least they're able to get a lump sum to pay for the expenses, your funeral expenses as well as life expenses after your demise without having to get to a point of now their lifestyle diminishes because of that. So I always say, first and foremost, if you are in a married situation, if you have children, or if you're the primary person who actually pays for expenses for your parents or your siblings, then it's important to take out life insurance cover for yourself. There's some people who have senior roles in the companies that they work in, so the companies give it to you automatically. If that's not available to you, please walk into any of the insurance companies and ask them what their products are. Final way to answer this question. I know people like to ask, what's the best, what's the worst? I try and turn this question around and say, where are you at? Why don't you do your own financial due diligence? The first thing that I say, go and find out what list of companies are there, call 2, 3, or 4 of them. Why? Because when you call them and you have that interaction of, I would like to get this product, then you begin to understand how will they deal with you when you need a payout from that company. If they're not cordial with you at the beginning, they certainly will not be cordial for you when you need their services, whether it's on medical or following up on a life insurance cover. So do that and find the company that works for you. It really is based on your taste and preferences, and do the homework because by the end of the day, pesa ni zako, you're the one who's making the decision, you're the one who will feel the pinch. Let's see the next question.
My name is Saida. I'm Metropole TV, and my question, according to business-wise, is should I invest on the local shares? It's something that I'm starting. Should I really look into local shares, or should I just go big in the international wise? Because right now, according to some people, local shares are really stressful. But I do not know if it's a leeway for me, or will I be straining myself more than I can do it?
Thank you so much for that question, Saida. I can see your eagerness and just your passion in terms of investing and making a return. Let me answer your question this way. Saida, I have been in this market for 15 years. Now, in those 15 years, we're in such an amazing time because technology has allowed us opportunities to access other assets. What am I saying? In the early 2000s, you really didn't have an option but to invest locally. But today, you have no option. You have so many options. You can invest in Europe. You can invest in China. You can invest in the United States of America. There's so many products out there. What does that mean? I think that means that you owe it to yourself to try and find, can I chase a return? Something that gives me a better return than actually having the money here at home. But with any investment decision, always know that high risk is equals to high return. Understand the product that you want to put your money in, then invest. Because as an investor, and if you want to go into that space of I want to build my wealth over time, that you also have the responsibility of finding out, if I invest 1,000 shillings, where will I get the best return? So if you get the best return in Kenya, by all means. If you find a good return outside of the country, by all means. But before you make that decision, ask yourself again, am I okay if I lose the 1,000? If you are, go ahead. Next question, am I okay if anything happens and I can't access this money? Then by all means, go ahead. The key thing with investments, look for a return. Also understand the risks involved in what are you getting in, how do I get my money out? Very important question. And the final thing is diversify. So Saida, have some money here, have some money out there. You do look relatively young. There's nothing stopping you. Go to the platforms, find out how to invest and how to make a return. Take some money out and invest it out there and compare, because the reality today is there are better returns outside of Kenya, especially when it comes to shares, than you would get locally. Let's see the next question.
Hello, Metropole TV. I have a question about stocks, and there's the international market stocks and there's the Kenyan market stocks, and there are brokers who represent you about that. So you find that there are people who set up their offices as brokers, and you invest your money, but later on you come and find out the offices are not there. It was a scam. So how do we tell the difference between a licensed broker that is licensed and monitored by Kenyan authorities and a fake broker?
Thank you so much for that question. Again, it's almost a question similar to Saida's question. How do you know who's the right person to go through? In Kenya, the Capital Markets Authority is the one that licenses any institutions that facilitate investments in the public realm in Kenya. CMA, that's CMA that's the Capital Markets Authority of Kenya. So you can go to their website and find out who is actually regulated and who's not. They have a list of all the brokers that are regulated, especially when it comes to such assets such as FX. Currently, we have 3 who are regulated and licensed locally. So when it comes to currency, we do have Scope, we have EGM Securities, and we have one other FX Securities, I think that's FX Pesa, that have actually been licensed by the Capital Markets Authority. So you can be able to go and check, are they licensed? In other words, I always say this, you really have to take the responsibility for your money. So before you make any decision, go and understand, how are you people operating? If I put my money in, the key thing you need to ask yourself is, how will I get my money out? And understand that. And even as you are using global platforms to be able to trade, I know people trade Bitcoin, I know people also trade shares, US shares or ETFs. Try and find out a bit more, and you can actually find out so much more from peer reviews just by going online and Googling that particular person, and also try and see if you can speak to professionals in your environment just to make a better decision. I hope that answers your question. So we have one more question here with us on our lines, and remember our lines, that's 20146. I am still receiving them. I have been allowed by my producer to actually have my phone on set because I really want to hear your questions. If nothing else, nitumieni salamu ndo nijue siko peke yangu, tunaongea na tunapatana, au aje si leo nifurahie. Let us have some fun. So here we have another question that says, hi Mbithe, I'm loving the show. My question is on saving. If, for example, I get 30,000 salary, what percentage can I save from it? Thank you so much for your question. I wish you had written your name, so hello to you wherever you are reaching out to us from. 30,000, I'd look at it in a couple of ways. Do you have a family? Do you not have a family? Let's start with the first scenario where you don't have dependents. 30,000 comes in. I would actually dare you to even save as much as 30%. That's 9,000 shillings. Because the more you save when you are younger and there are no people coming you, you don't have to pay for bills for other people, the better for you in the long term. Do you know why? There's something that Albert Einstein describes as compound interest being the magic wonder. If you understand it, you will earn it. If you don't, you will pay for it. So if you start putting money aside today, and if nothing else, I always say, I would tell my 25-year-old self, open a money market account, start putting money there and watch what the element of compound interest does for you. So put as much money as you can. I'd even say put 9,000 and then challenge yourself to consume less, right? If you can even put aside 15,000, cut back on your expenses. When you are 30,000 and move to 40,000, don't change your lifestyle. I was told this the first time I had a job and I didn't listen. It went through this year and out that year. So you're learning from my experience. But what I realized is, when you earn more, kuna kitu tunaitanga #kuomoka, you're just evading from poverty. So everyone wants to omoka, everyone wants to consume, you want to go out with your friends, you want to buy new clothes, change your wardrobe, you want to change where you live, your address, so that people can know you're doing well. That is a disaster when it comes to your finances. If you earn more, be humble, remain where you are, but put for yourself financial goals. Because if you get to the habit of saving 30%, in less than a year, you'll actually have been able to save almost 3 to 4 months of your monthly expenditure. Whereas if you started only by saving 10%, it will take you 3 years to get to the minimum of building an emergency fund. So that's the way you want to look at it. Open a money market account. There are a couple of them. If I look at in terms of who has the largest portfolio, CIC is the largest money market manager in Kenya. Britam is the second. ICEA and Sanlam come in at that level. Focus on the big institutions. Focus on the returns that you're getting. But I always say, if you have little money that you're investing, don't chase the return as much as you want to chase the safety of your funds and who are the people managing your funds. If I flip it aside, maybe you're earning 30,000 and you have a family, try and save 10%. And I say this is how you can do it. If you're able to budget for your house expenditure, you're able to budget for travel, you're able to budget for food, now put saving as a budget item where you know each and every single month I have to find a way to fund for this. I'd rather do other things less of, but I need to be very focused because I need to build this particular portfolio of money for myself for the future. So I hope that has answered your question. If not, please give us a subsequent text and we'll be happy to do that. So our number is 20146. We'll take a short break and see if you're able to engage with us. If not, that's at Mbithe on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, or at Metropole TV on Instagram, on Twitter, or on Facebook. Let's see if you have any more questions for us. We are here, we are eager. This show is all about you. So please give us your questions and we will come back to answer that shortly.